Uncertainty. Uncertainty. So buckle up, saddle up your roller skates. Uncertainty is a big one. It's probably the biggest one of all. And the last part of that word, the T, I put here, as TI. And the reasons for that will become apparent in a minute. We were talking in the last video about time and how we ride through time, how malleable it may be, and the incidentals within it that relate potentially to uncertainty. Here I've drawn visual graphic format of the multiverse, the brains of the multiverse, the various universes or dimensions through which we move in life during the course of our existence, just as everything else does at the quantum level. If you've got any doubts, by the way, about your size, given the number of factors in your world that seem huge to do with your relationships, your workplace, your home environment, the things you have to look after, and the companies that you have to deal with, and blah, 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 walk outside, look at the moon, and remember that you are not as tall as the nearest tree. We are infinitesimal little dots, little quantum dots. So having established your size, your quantumness in the universal context, so the universe as a whole, you can probably kind of relate to the idea of bits, quantum bits, because essentially that's what we are. We're all quantum bits. That's why we have problems deciphering our place in this. We think the universe is a simulation or a hologram or some kind of computer system in which we are part, or an alien experiment that we happen to be bottled up in, because we are actually operating as bits of universal information, and that is our function. That's what we do. So as we do this, we have to subscribe to the laws. There are laws. And we can't balk them. And uncertainty is one of these laws. On the other side of this compass effect, in which I have placed our brain, because that's our perception mechanism in the middle, we've got the waveforms on the other side. The waveform that we ride through life, through our world line, if you want to put it in sort of scientific context. And as we go through this, you may remember in the last video we talked about red and blue shift. It really has more to do with distance and speed and our position on the trajectory line. When you see blue shift, something is coming towards you, and when you see red shift, something is moving away. And what we see of time is that it passes. Now, red and blue shift, given the position that they occupy in time terms, in terms of our direction, velocity, movement, trajectory kind of quotient. Let's think about it in terms of human language. The English language, obviously, is the one I speak, and I guess that probably the other languages translate in the same way to the same kind of thing. For example, you have red associated with anger. You see red. Red is an angry colour. It's a warning colour in nature. It's warning. It's red. Right. And you've also got sadness described as blue. You've got the blues, or Kermit if you're a frog, who's got the greens, but there's blue in there. The blue element seems to be resonant with sadness and sorrow for some reason. Now, both of those things, anger and sadness, are negative. They are negative emotional states. And it's no coincidence, therefore, to my mind, that the electron is negatively charged. There are free electrons. They fall out of the sky. They travel in solar winds. There are myriads of them. They're not just confined little things in Rutherford's diagrams of atoms. They are rambunctious and have elements of their existence that way beyond our understanding. They are true quantum units and we know probably more about electrons than we do about an awful lot of other particles. So given the uncertainty of what we really know about electrons, all we can say right now is that they are negatively charged. Would you agree, maybe, that the human race, you and I, have a predilection towards negative thinking? We have a bit of a problem with negative thinking. We get caught up in these things. And when we get caught up in negative thinking, we tend to find the words coming into our head always and never. And you'll notice that always and never relate to, you guessed it, infinity. When we have a negative train of thought that things are always this way and they're never going to change, he always does this, she always does that, God never does any different, never puts the bin out, never, never, never. These are negative trains of thought that we get caught up in, like little threads that our neurons just latch onto, and bzzz, off they go into the next version of the multiverse, carrying these negative energy threads with them. Photons, on the other hand. Photons are illuminating. They are radiant. They're spectral. Photons have no charge. They have no bias. There isn't an energy bias system that comes with a photon. They are massless, apparently. No mass. No mass, no charge, no nothing, just light. Nice. Hard. So negativity makes life hard, let's face it. But it's a part of life that we are driven, if you like, to overcome. And we know that we should be able to do better in overcoming those aspects. So what are we working with here? We have personal qubits, and our information processing is part of the big universal system of information processing. We are no more than quantum units of an infinitesimally small size. Getting used to that is going to be a big key to what happens next and what we can do with what happens next. Going back to ti, being you or yourself in Italian, the English connotation is actually more musical because this is the 7th note of a major scale. Not going to try and sing it. Never mind, eh? T, the 7th note of a major scale. Are you coming up to say hello? This is Ashley. Ashley is my Romanian street mutt who came over to live with us at Christmas, didn't you? Yeah, he's a very good boy. He was under the table during the last video making a thorough nuisance of himself, as you, if you watched it, will have noticed. Good boy. You're going to get down now. You're going to get down now. Go. Don't. So, there we have it. The synchronicity or coincidence, whichever way you like to look at it, of our language. The number of permutations, possibilities of what we're travelling through at any given time, the waveform that we ride, which we might have some kind of idea of a direction, of a compass point that we want to go to, but everything that buffets in along the way, we do not know what the flotsam and jetsam is going to be. Please don't tear that up, Ashley. Thank you. I'm looking at posts of articles out there about explorations into territory of whether information and dark matter are the same thing, and whether there is some kind of interdimensional shift involved in the creation of dark matter. So, hey, watch this space, things are hotting up. And the uncertainty element is yet to be revealed, but it's on the brink. We're nearly there. Next. Just wanted to add as a footnote that this sweatshirt was given to me by the father of my children in 1985. So that was a long time before I knew what the uncertainty principle meant or Schrodinger's cat was all about. I'd never heard of any of it back then. So if you'd never heard of any of it either, hey, interesting? I hope so. Fun? Certainly. And an exploration of merit? Well, that's up to you guys. Let's see where this goes. Take care. Have fun. Love you loads. Bye.